Greetings one and all, Denise Osorio here, homegrown and happy to bring you PTV News Now. And topping our stories for the night, the Department of Education's 2025 budget that passes House plenary muster. It pays for an agency to have its proposed budget scrutinized at the tail end of the last day of plenary deliberations. Much like the case of the Department of Education this afternoon that found itself in today's set deadline by the House for plenary deliberations and approval of the GAB on its third and final reading. Thus, DepEd Chief Sonny Angara felt so glad his office's proposed budget of 793 billion pesos breezed through today's plenary sans the slightest resistance or opposition in the plenary. The Department of Education is in the top 3 government offices with the largest slice of the budget, along with the DPWH and the DSWD. Angara said his office's programs and plans for next year align with the President's directive to improve the welfare of teachers and extend the highest quality or standard of education it could to public school learners nationwide. In his valedictory as the most powerful man on the planet and leader of the free world, President of the United States Joe Biden stood front and center on the podium of the cavernous United Nations General Assembly Hall to address his peers, calling for unity and peace to address the most challenging issues of war in the Ukraine, Gaza, and the humanitarian crisis in Sudan. VOA's White House correspondent Anita Powell was there and she filed this report.
Hope, unity, and service. President Joe Biden's parting message to world leaders in his final speech to the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday. The U.S. leader covered a lot of ground in his valedictory address before world leaders. As expected, he urged the world to work together to end conflicts in Gaza, Ukraine, and Sudan. And he touted his administration's work in health and climate mitigation. But it was this line about his decision not to seek re-election that garnered the most applause from the audience, which included leaders from the body's 193 member states.
My fellow leaders, let us never forget, some things are more important than staying in power. It's your people.
But his call for a peace deal to end spreading conflict in the Middle East shows how deeply divided this international body is.
Even if the situation has escalated, a diplomatic solution is still possible. In fact, it remains the only path to lasting security to allow the residents from both countries to return to their homes and the border safely. And that's what we're working tirelessly to achieve.
But the conflict in Gaza, like the one in Ukraine, will likely not end with Biden's presidency, analysts say.
I think the president is trying to toe the line that he's always towed, support for Israel, but really indicating also some sympathy and understanding of the plight in Gaza and some hope that it will be resolved, but not really being able to control the situation very directly.
Washington's strong support of Israel has tested its standing at the UN, where many members are critical of Israel's action both in Gaza and now in Lebanon. On Tuesday, the head of the international body warned of what he called politically indefensible and morally intolerable impunity.
Nothing can justify the abhorrent acts of terror committed by Hamas on October 7th or the taking of hostages, both of which I have repeatedly condemned. And nothing can justify the collective punishment of the Palestinian people.
This annual event is a chance for the world's governments to discuss shared challenges and shared visions. The big question now, from Gaza to Ukraine to Sudan, what are they going to do about it? Anita Powell, VOA News, New York.
At this juncture, let's turn to my colleague in PTV's Baguio City studios for what's hot and happening in the Cordilleras. Audrey?
Naimbag Arabi, Pilipinas, simuko ti upat a pulo ket upat a rebelde manipod tukukan Tinoc Ifugao kadagiti kamong ti pulisya. Buklon daytoy ti 36 a lalaki ken 8 a babae. Binirngasan ti pulisya dagiti simuko at Tinoc 44. Kinarigat ti biag ti kagrunaan a rason no apay a simuko da kadagiti otoridad. Kagiddan ti mas withdrawal, pinuoran da dagiti CTG banners ken nagpirmada iti katulagan iti isusuko da iti gobyerno tapno makitinulong da para iti linak ken kapya. Sigun mo ti Philippine Army, ti isusuko dagiti nasaw kamang ti CTG ket mangipasimudaag nga awanen ti pamilya a madadael, ubing a maisina iti naganakda ken agtutubo a maapektaran gapo iti sursuro dagiti terorista. Manamnamamot a maipayan dagiti sigud a rebelde iti tulong kas iti livelihood programs iti nagduduma a ahensya. Iti datos ti Procar, manipod Enero aging ga Setyembre 2024, dumanon iti sangagasot ket upat kamang ti CTG ti simukon iti otoridad.
Para sa ating mga kapatid sa bundok na hindi pa nagbabalik loob, hinihikayat kayo namin seryoso ang gobyerno na salubungin kayo with open hands, to accept you with open hands for as long as bumaba na kayo, magbalik loob na kayo sa gobyerno at mamuhay ng tahimik.
Iti sa balay pay adamag, 80% wino na surok 2 gasot 4 apulo, iti nasurok 3 gasot a persons deprived of liberty, iti Baguio City Jail Male Dormitory, iti nagmiyembro iti Social Security System, kaya nagbaybayad iti binulan a kontribusyon. Babaan da ito iti alkansya program ti SSS kan Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. Manipod iti mapaspasrakan dagiti PDL iti naduduma a livelihood programs, adaan da iti kapasidad a makabayad iti minimum contribution iti SSS. Para iti may sa PDL a nagmiyembro iti SSS, dakkel at tulong da iti kadakwada nga uray adda da iti uneg iti pagbaludan, maitultuloy na ladda iti panagtinagda iti kontribusyon. Binulan niya agbisita iti City Jail dagiti kamang ti SSS tapno agkolekta iti kontribusyon dagiti PDL.
Ito po ay ginawa ho ng SSS para bigyan din ho ng social security protection ho yung mga persons deprived with liberty ho natin.
Yan, napaka-importante, no, na meron silang SSS kasi kahit nandito sila sa loob, no, nai-insure naman nila yung it's an insurance for them, no, para paglabas naman nila sa piitan, na meron silang pension in the future.
Dagiti damdamag manipod iti PTV Cordillera, siya ni Audrey Villena, na Imbag Arabi.
That's all written for tonight. Join us anew tomorrow for yet another evening news break edition. Keep in mind to stay connected by catching the news right here. Denise Osorio here, wishing you all a restful night ahead, and thank you for watching PTV News Now.